Let me add this so that you can tie it all in. Apparently Ifai is really interested in this. He's asking.
He's on this case.
He's turning our economy into a producing or manufacturing economy. Why does it look as if it's rocket science? I mean, rocket science is even becoming easier now with technology. So why is it so difficult?
Power.
Well, the obstacles in the way of manufacturing. He said power. I would say transportation and energy infrastructure needs to be fixed, because those two make manufacturing uncompetitive in Nigeria.
Dr. Teriba, we have been saying this forever, since 1999. We have been shouting, if NEPA is fixed, a lot of things will fall into place, including manufacturing. The small businessman will be able to make money out of his business. This is how many years later? 18 years later. We're still singing the same tune. Fix power, fix power. Not 1 megawatt has been added. In fact, every day you hear power has dropped by XYZ megawatts.
You've been saying it, but now is the time to do something about it. And they said it several times here. What should be done to transmission? What should be done to rail? So,
we're still saying
government does not have enough money to invest in these sectors.
So let it go.
So government needs to look for ways of opening those sectors up to investors. And what happened in telecoms will happen across all the infrastructure.
The question would be, would there be reviews, indictment, and restructuring of all those procedures? Because, I mean, there have been moves that were made before, the area of privatization and all of that. Some people have been complicit in these processes. So would there be reviews? Would there be indictment?
Why would your hands be tied if you find that an exercise that you carried out, you should be able to look for ways of, reconsidering.
Tweaking it here and there.
So that there's progress. Otherwise, I mean, it's an unnecessary question to ask that if you find that certain, situations that have been created is an obstacle to the country, what will you do?
The question is, are you even
you will shy away from it, you will confront it and move on.
Exactly. Mr. you mentioned the small-scale industries.
Yes, SMEs.
Yeah, the SMEs, yes. One of the factors militating against their progress is, of course, access to funds.
Yes.
So how are we going to deal with that? Even when there is better business environment, better enabling environment for them to operate?
First of all, for us to really have growth in this economy, real proper growth, the interest rate needs to come down. But the government also has an initiative concerning creating credit or capital for SMEs. They launched a bank called the Development Bank of Nigeria, headed by Mr. Antonio Panachi, is the MD, and they're focusing mainly on creating finance for small and medium enterprises.
Who will be asked to bring things that they cannot turn up with?
No, first of all, it's a step in the right direction, but ultimately to make it really work, interest rates have to come down. They're too high. The interest rate in Nigeria right now is not creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive or start.
Do you recall the time that they said banks must set aside XYZ of their profit for SMEs?
It didn't work.
And at the end of the year, they would come on this program and say, well, people couldn't access the money because they didn't have the prerequisite, conditions.
Yes.
So, I mean, the money was there, the fund was there, but you put so many obstacles in the way. You asked them for their grandmother's fingernails, the grandmother who died 10 years ago, for her fingernails and stuff like that. So, of course, people couldn't access the funds at all.
Yeah, that's what gave birth to the Development Bank of Nigeria. But ultimately, like I said, we need to bring down interest rates. If not, we're going to stifle SMEs in this country.
Okay, I'm writing down something. Sorry, Dr. Teriba. Government Bank of Nigeria, BOI, that's Bank of Industry. There's also the Bank of Agriculture. There's also the Infrastructure Bank. There are all sorts of banks and Urban Development Bank. So that's like 6 different banks. Looking towards what some out there will consider the same thing.
Yes.
Are we not duplicating functions? And yet the interest rates are still there. And the processes to accessing these funds are almost
inhibitive.
Okay.
Okay, well, be careful.
Okay.
First, the industry, agriculture, infrastructure, each require, different
specialized banks.
So there is no duplication. You need to match expertise with the funding. But be careful that these the specialized banks are part of the Nigerian economy. The Nigerian economy is in recession. The Nigerian economy is illiquid. Do not expect. The economy is not liquid. External reserves dropped to $23 billion in September last year. Before we've seen since October, the improvement has brought it to $31 billion. Don't jump the gun. We started by saying, comparing ourselves with Saudi. Saudi has external reserves. As one of our 30 billion is the surplus on their own 500 billion. They have 535 billion. Their population is a very tiny fraction of your population.
Yeah.
Okay? So they have reserves. So they can fund those specialized banks. We don't have the money.
So why are we setting them up if we can't fund them?
Government does not have enough money.